My friends, welcome to exercise 102 of my 203-day CAD models in FreeCAD series. 102, it's not complex, but it will take a minute for us to go there. And also I see that this image is really low resolution, so we will do our best to actually guess these numbers. With that, let's go ahead and start processing the image, because with this plan I believe the image will help us actually build the object. So this is 324. Let's take that length, 324. Right, I want to keep that on XY plane, and then let's relocate this to the center. So this is symmetric on both directions, so I want to take the advantage of the symmetry for this model. I'll take that as an OK. So what I want to do is I want to build only the corner, like quarter of the object, and then mirror it 2 times to make the full object. With that, let's go ahead and start working in our part workbench. And on XY plane, I want to build the base first. On this model, because I'm planning to actually go an extra mile and show you how to make a box out of this lid, I am going to fast forward on the sketching part with the thought that by this time in this series, you already know what most sketching involves. We got the outside boundary for the base, and I want to rename that as sketch base, and that one would be a 5mm thickness extrude as given from this picture. And let's see if we can bring it backward. So 5mm. What it does is it keeps our center, the AC, this axis cross, on the top corner, and the pad is downward. The next job is to actually work on this border, which we can reference with this one. So that one, actually, let's go ahead and start another sketch on XY plane, and then I want to take a reference of this. So we got the center reference from the previous sketch, and what I want to do, I want to create an arc. So there is one arc and there is another arc. Diameter 89.7, and I want to add them to close the gaps, make a closed sketch. All right, we got the border taken care of, and I want to extrude that for, so that's total 20. We already have 5, so that would be 15 more. Let's take a look. It looks good, and I want to say, so this is the base, this is base pad. I will say circular collar, and then we have this filling, which is okay, which is 5mm extra, so that is total 10mm from the bottom. So let's start working on that. We want to sketch another one on XY plane, and this time we want to take reference of this outer collar surface. Okay, now I want to extrude that for 5mm. And finally, we have this little part this one, it will come up to, so total 20. That part will be equal to this. So I guess we can do that on this sketch, right? On this sketch, we can actually build that pad from here to there. So this will be 66.6 over 2. 66.6 divided by 2, and this height is, that's a very confusing number, so we will take a good guess. The 22.17, let's say 22.5, right? And finally, one last part is to build this holder part. So we want to create another sketch between this line and this line. So I want to take those two lines as my reference and then actually draw a rectangle and pull in that rectangle for 72.5. All right, next thing I want to do is make a hole, this hole, and then this border on here. So that would be on the XZ plane. So let's go ahead and create another sketch on XZ plane, right? And there will be one like this and another one just like that. So let's take some reference points. These two will be the same. All right, and then these two will be horizontal plane. So that way we get to gather this whole thing. And since I'm doing this in part workbench, I am guessing there will be some problem here. So let's go ahead and delete this one for now. We will do it in 2 steps. Okay. And I want to make these two horizontal. Now I can push this backward, say 25, reversed and apply. See where it goes. Yep, should have gone the other way more. So 50. Now we can go ahead and make a cut. All right, the inner diameter is 30, so I want to work on that again. Do another sketch on XZ plane and pull in this center and draw a half circle, and it would be radius 15. There. So we have all our components done, except that there should be a hole right there. And if I want to go ahead and make that hole right now, I wonder if this object will break down because we have a reference in this object. Let's save this so we can come back to it if anything goes to south. And I want to go ahead and make a hole right here, and this distance will be 11.11, and this is 16, I'm guessing. Yes, the diameter would be 10, so that's 5 radius. Did anything break down? No. Well, that's good, I'm happy. Okay, so now I want to take this one, this one, this one, and this one, all of these and make a union. So that is my 1/4 part, and I want to mirror that against this face, which is XZ plane. All right, and let's make that 1/4. So that is my half part, and that I want to mirror against this face, which would be YZ plane. Let's go ahead and boolean it together. That is our object. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I want to make a box for this lead, and I want to start that work right now. I want to take this corner only. So let's go ahead and then draw a sketch on this corner on XY plane, and I want to turn on the section view, and I want to take these few lines as my reference objects. Okay, so that box will hold this lead inside of it. Okay, time to put everything down as constraints. This one will be vertical, and obviously these two will be coincident to each other. I want to make these two equal, and I want to place this point on this line. So only 2 degrees of freedom left, and I want to make these two parallel. Now 1 degrees of freedom, which is the length between these two. I can easily fix that by adding a reference line, construction geometry. Let's make that construction, and then I want to make that at a right angle to this edge, and I want to make these two equal, so that way the distance is fixed. So that's my box outer side, and I wanted to have this hole as my screw hole. So let's go ahead and make that happen right now. So there will be this hole which will be equal to the lead hole, right? And at this point it will work, but it won't be reinforced. So I'm going to go ahead and then reinforce this area. I can do that easily by placing a couple lines. I should have thought this earlier. Okay, so just like that, I want to make these two perpendicular, and I want to make these two parallel. Obviously these two are parallel already, and what I want to do is I want to make this. Okay, I can do one of two things. The first thing is I can actually draw a construction geometry here, and another one is here, and I want to say these two are parallel and this is already vertical, and I can now say this would be, actually I want to make it here, so this would be symmetric, and I can do the same thing on here. All right, so we got everything down to where we want. Now I want to trim this off, and trim this off, make it a closed sketch. And I know that trimming this will take off some of the constraints that we just applied. I don't like it, but until FreeCAD fixes that, we have to live with that. I can take this one and place it on here, and that takes care of it. So there, we got our sketch fully constructed. Let's take a look at it. It looks good. I want to say sketch box, right? And pull that up. For example, say I'm going to say 100. So that's our box. Let's see where the lead stands. Okay, the lead stands 5 millimeter top of it, so I'll have to actually push it back 5 millimeter. on the back side. And then there are some conflict in there. This screw housing we just built is conflicting with this lid and also this part, and we can easily take care of that. Actually, it's pretty simple. What I can do is I can take this and this in sequence and then say make a cutout. So that way we get that part cut out, but this is not a screw hole yet, so we'll have to work a bit more on that. Let's go back to it and say I actually want to take this 44 off, right, and see if I can make it a bit bigger. Now I want to make this equal and say this is radius more than 5, which is I'm gonna say 6.5. Let's go with 6.5. And then I want to draw a circle inside, maybe 3 millimeter or 2.5 rather. Right, there it is. So we got that taken care of. So we have the lid here and it fits in nicely with respect to the box edge. Okay, and I want to say I want to place a kind of like line to hold this lid down at in place, which would be at this level, and I can do that easily. All I have to do is find the axis cross. So this is the level, right? So at this level I want to draw a line. I can do that. So we have at the 0 level, right? I want to draw another sketch without attaching to anything. I want to draw it on XY plane, and I want to pull in this line and this line, maybe this line as my reference. Right, and okay, so this length is going to be, I'm going to say 2 millimeter. All right, and this distance would be, so the same, this is going to be parallel to each other, and then this is going to be parallel to this one. Now we have to make this 2 millimeter gap. So I will say let's make it like this. Now I can go ahead and say these two will be equal. So that has been taken care of, right? The same thing will happen here. I want to do from this point to that point. This is going to be 90-degree with that. And then I want to make these two equal. Right. That's been taken care of. I want to extrude that for 3 millimeter and it will go downward. Not bad. It worked. So I want to draw another sketch on XY plane with an offset 100. So we are at this bottom level and I want to reference this line and this line. I want to make a bottom of the box, which would be pretty straightforward. Very simple. There, that's my bottom, and which is already fully constrained. And I want to extrude that for say 5 millimeter. I'm gonna say the box is 5 millimeter thick at the bottom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make all of these one piece and mirror it again. There, that is my box with the lid, which has an edge around it and 4 screw holes. There is a lid holder. All in all, it looks great. I am actually going to make this lid a little transparent so we could see what's going on inside. Well, I hope you liked this video with the extra one. If you have any question or suggestion, leave them at the comment below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.